The deadly DMZ virus, first detected in the demilitarized zone, has gripped the world. The infected show symptoms of abnormal physical abilities, violent tendencies, and animalistic behavior, all within 5 minutes in low-pressure environments. In South Korea, a team of CIA agents launch an operation at a motel to retrieve Dr. Jung, a scientist who has managed to cure his daughter from the virus. They went missing while en route to the Sinwiju Chemical Weapons Institute in North Korea to mass-produce a vaccine for the virus. The agents breach their target's room where they find a half-naked man with a cross-shaped stitched wound at the back of his head. As they question him at gunpoint, the man seems oblivious to what is going on. The agents show him a video of him with the doctor giving directions to where they currently stand. They all notice a trail of blood leading to a wardrobe, so they instruct him to open it. Inside, they find some bloodied bandages and a coat with a ringing phone. The agents make him to answer the call. A lady on the other side informs him that his name is Carter, before asking him to pass the phone to one of the agents. One of them takes the phone, but it explodes. While they all wince on the floor, the lady alerts Carter that there is a device implanted in his ear, so he's the only one that can hear her. She then notifies him that the room is about to be blown up, so he must trust her and jump out into an adjacent building. He begins to run as the countdown rings in his ear, taking the leap of faith where he lands into a bathhouse pool. A severed hand holding a gun follows him as the building explodes. Carter stumbles out to find himself surrounded by the Korean mafia. They mistake his conversation with the lady in his ear, thinking he's with the CIA, so they all attack him with various bladed weapons. This might be Cap, but he cuts his way through a good 100 men as he escapes the bathhouse. The voice in his ear directs him through the market where he's pursued by the remaining CIA agents. The chase briefly ends when he takes one out in a clothes shop. He picks some to wear before proceeding, but he runs into another agent where they exchange a few blows. Carter ultimately comes out on top, throwing him off a balcony. He's then instructed to take the agent's device, which they will use to backtrace their hideout. With everything happening so fast, Carter demands to know why the CIA are after him. The voice alerts him that there's a bomb planted in his mouth that has a 10-meter blast radius, so he should just follow instructions, or they'll activate it. He makes his way to the designated van. They all jump in and drive away when the CIA spots them. He hands over the device and they begin hacking it right away. The woman in the van introduces herself as Choi Yoo-jin, an agent of North Korea's strategy team, whilst the lady in his ear introduces herself as Han Jung-hee, who also works for North Korea. She explains that they are working with South Korea to create a treatment for the DMZ virus. The South's army is at the border holding off the infected North Koreans. Most of the preparations were made in anticipation for Dr. Jung's arrival so that they could use his daughter's blood in the creation of the vaccine, but she was kidnapped by A9, a secret organization in the CIA. Carter's mission is to find Ha-na and bring her to the north. They reveal a bombshell that it was Carter himself that suggested the mission. He commanded them to block the memory center in his brain. He was a CIA agent from South Korea, but infiltrated the North as a reporter and became a hero to his homeland. The North suspected him to be an American spy, so they assigned a woman to keep an eye on him, but the two fell in love, got married, and had a daughter. They tell him that his wife died from the virus, and his daughter got infected. She's currently imprisoned at the Sinwiju facility. Choi Yoo-jin gives him a bag with all the weapons he'll need for the infiltration. He must complete the mission in order to save his daughter. With Jung-hee in his ear, he prepares in an elevator, but she alerts him that most infected people die on the 13th day, and his daughter has entered her 13th day as they speak. Now fully equipped, he infiltrates. His guardian angel notifies him that Ha-na has been held on the 6th floor. He rappels down like Spider-Man, swiftly killing the guards. Carter locates her in a locked playroom, but the girl is reluctant to go with him until he gives her a phone to talk to her dad, who confirms that it's safe to leave with him. However, the remaining CIA gather outside. Carter uses some toxic smoke to take them out, but they are caught by Agent Smith, who reveals his past. Agent Agnes interrupts and confirms that Carter's movements match with a CIA agent named Michael Bain, who is supposed to be dead. Smith inspects the back of Carter's head and confirms that he underwent BD7 to wipe his memory. He takes a sample from his head so that they can run some DNA tests. While they wait, it is drawn to Smith's attention that there is a signal coming from Carter's body. Jung-hee cuts communication from his earpiece and uses the signal in his molar as a decoy as the CIA check his body. They find and remove the molar, but his communicator alerts him that it's about to detonate, so he grabs Ha-na and shields her from the blast. With everyone in the room dead, they make their way through a hole in the wall and find a window. The girl climbs on Carter's back so that they can descend using the outside vents. One of the agents pops out and attacks them, causing the girl to let go, but Carter deals with him and saves Ha-na before she falls. They flee after hijacking a newspaper van while under fire. The duo find themselves in a street demonstration demanding the return of the doctor and his daughter. They join the protest, even wearing the provided masks to blend into the crowd. A message from Dr. Jung dismissing the rumors about his disappearance plays on a public display. With the crowd distracted, they branch off into an alleyway where Carter receives a message from an unknown number stating that his real name is Michael Bain. It is accompanied with a video of him and Agnes playing a piano. Young-hee alerts him of the approach of the van across the street. He also receives a message from the unknown number to take the bus approaching if he wants to learn more. As they cross, both vehicles appear, but Carter decides to take the bus to Korean's confusion. Inside, he meets Agnes, who has jammed the communication and alludes to them having a past together. But before she can finish her explanation, she gets no-scoped. He leaves the bus just as the CIA arrive to retrieve her, but as they move through another alleyway, some agents on a bike snatch Hana. Carter knocks one of the bikes and uses it to pursue them. The Korean van also follows and takes the girl back, but Carter's handlers are killed during the chase. Some CIA vans enter the fray as they fight Carter between the moving vans. Ultimately, the CIA bikes get hold of Hana and enter a formation to prevent Carter from getting to her at the front, but he leaps frogs off the bikes, killing them until he reaches her. They immediately make their way to an airport where Director Kim alerts them that a North and South Korean convoy will escort them to Sinuiju, but they will be joined by American media for transparency. With the world watching, it should prevent the US from doing something reckless. When they board the plane, Carter and Hana are given a medical examination, after which their wounds are tended to. They are also given a change of clothes. Carter discusses with the director when the plane suddenly jolts. Kim quickly rushes to the cockpit where the pilots have collapsed. They get the medics in to test them for infection. There is traces of the virus in their system, but under normal circumstances it wouldn't be cause for concern. However, considering the cabin's altitude and pressure, it reads that they are infected, so more time is requested to be certain. Meanwhile, the director notices that the medic's room light have been switched off, so he rushes to check on Hana. Simultaneously, Young-hee alerts Carter that the girl has been taken to the cargo compartment by someone, so he rushes down there where he finds Hana blindfolded and bound. As he frees her, Carter is attacked by the head medic Cheol-ju, but Kim saves Carter when he shoots the assailant in the shoulder. As he confronts him on who he works for, he toys with the director, hinting to be affiliated with the Americans. After closing the distance to the director, he dodges the kill shot. This is followed by a brief struggle where Cheol-ju gets the gun and shoots Kim dead. He then engages with Carter, who has instructed Hana to make her way back upstairs. The fake medic detonates a bomb that can be heard from the cabin. The little girl rushes back up where they question her on what happened. Cheol-ju emerges bloodied and lies that he killed Kim because he was a CIA plant. The tense standoff is broken when an infected soldier starts shooting, which sends the plane into pandemonium. More people get infected and begin to body each other. Cheol-ju lightly cuts Hana and uses her blood on his body, which acts as a repellent so the infected don't attack him. The madness spills back into the cargo compartment, but they are all sucked out through the hole in the plane. Carter still holds on for dear life as Cheol jumps off with a parachute with Hana strapped to him. The plane begins to explode as Carter free falls and fights with Cheol for the parachute and Hana. He ultimately swipes both, leaving Mr. Cheol to later meet the ground with humility and death. They land in the north on a farm truck, but they are still pursued by the CIA, who bodies the driver. Carter manages to defeat the agents and takes control of the car. He's directed by Young-hee to a valley, but along the way, they are attacked by a horde of infected. They manage to get to the rendezvous area, but they must cross a rope bridge. As they traverse, Carter tries to ward off the infected, but the bridge ultimately breaks. With Hana on his back, he climbs up to the top while shooting the persistent infected. Luckily, Young-hee comes in clutch and kills the remaining infected on their side. Lieutenant General Jong Hyuk condescendingly applauds him for going so far to save his family. Carter requests they return his memory. Young-hee begins the process, but the Lieutenant General knocks him out and drags him into one of the cars. Turns out that Young-hee is Carter's wife. She confronts her superior of the deal to let them go as soon as Carter completed his mission, but clearly, he's not going to honor the deal. They take Carter to an infected disposal area, while the Lieutenant General tries to convince Young-hee to stay with her husband in the north, where they can build a better country. Meanwhile, at the disposal site, Carter gets an opportunity to escape when the infected attack. He infiltrates Sinuiju facility with a bang after shooting Jong Hyuk with a sniper. He links up with Young-hee as they save their daughter, Hana, and the doctor. His daughter is then given a shot of the vaccine. As they move out, his guardian alerts him that they must stop a Chinese government train carrying the infected. Carter's memories are restored when Young-hee instructs the doctor to use a device on him. He remembers that Young-hee is his wife, and that he made a deal with the government under his suggestion to retrieve Hana in exchange for his family's freedom. They are ambushed by some soldiers, so Carter leaves with the kids on a bike and boards the train while the doctor and Young-hee try to hold them off. They later catch up to the train, but a big fight breaks out as a still-living Jong Hyuk pursues them. But ultimately, they bring down their pursuers while finishing off the Lieutenant General in the process. With the whole party on the train, they pass through a tunnel. The movie ends when the tracks get blown up on the other side.